Hey everybody, how we doing today? So welcome to shop update number 10. So we're going to be finishing off the sidewall today. I picked up some 2x4s, my favorite $3.68 pieces of wood. Primarily I'm going to use these to support these rails here. This one so I have a place to tie into the bottom piece, and then I have another one on top, as you can see here, for the top piece. Unfortunately, I can't use one 4x8 sheet of the panels here to cover the whole thing, because it's almost 5 feet across, a little less, but so I have to do 2 panels. So having a part here will cover the top half, and then I could tie in the bottom half to this one. And the bottom one is primarily to give me a straight edge, and plus it's kind of rotting out. The reason for doing all this is for rain prevention. So when it rains and there's wind, the rain will blow all the way to over here and then gets this stuff all wet. I did that side, it protects the corner enough. This helps block it as well, because it does blow in there, but I finally just gonna bite the bullet and just panel that whole side off, and that'll be good. I was kind of worried about doing that because of the light. Having the natural light is kind of nice, but since I put these shop lights in, you can see the difference. It's pretty dark even in the middle of the day versus having the lights on, so that side is not going to make a difference. So we're going to take care of that. As you can also see, this is one of the popular routes for my rat buddies during our rat wars. There, ate a hole through the corner there, and there was a hole in the corner on that side as well, so this will kind of block that off. But otherwise, that'll also give me more space in this corner, since they'll be protected, to kind of expand things out for this kind of stuff. One of my next projects is going to be just to build a board box, scrap box, so I could put all these pieces in kind of a box area there, make it a little bit neater. But that's what we're going to work on today. Primarily going to be using my new little circular saw here. This would be a perfect job for the miter saw, but when it comes to cutting the panels, the 4x8 sheets, this will be a lot better here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use some screws just to tie it all in there, and then paint the outside to make it somewhat waterproof. It's been working pretty well. Somewhere in there I've got an extra gallon of paint back in there I got from Home Depot on clearance for $2, so we've got that. So let's get started. Oh, here's one of the upgrades I made to the drill press. Got this nice little vise here that'll make things easier to clamp down, especially when you're doing the little parts. I like this vise because it's not just the normal twist turn that takes forever, but you got a push button quick release. Press that down and then it'll get you to wherever you need to be a lot easier than trying to spin this a bunch of times. This came as a kit. Came with the vise, came with the soft jaws, which are nice, and then the bolts to clamp it down. So that thing's going to make things a lot easier and more useful there, especially when doing the metal stuff. But yeah, let's get going. All right, got things cleaned up, ready to go. Got all the stuff out of the way. So let me do the cross members first, top and bottom there. Then this one's already got one, so I'll just add one there. Try to get it 90 degrees, and then we'll be ready for the panel. So let me hit those real quick. We'll go ahead and put the drill press in a workout with my new vise. Look at that clamping power. No brace. Cuts through wood like butter. All right, so we got those 2 cross braces in. That one already has a brace there, so I just need to add one here. It's hard to tell, but this thing actually bows angles. I don't know, it probably warped or it started breaking, so it's leaning. So I'm gonna try to go straight from here, straight up there. Even though there's gonna be a gap, I'm not gonna be worried about it. That way, I think this board here is straight, or somewhat straight. And then that's kind of the middle line, so I want to be right along it. So let me measure and cut that one up. Well, let's just see where we're at here. Oh, that's about right there. Can't see. Oh. Sun's right in my eyes. I just need a little bit of a, yeah, right there. Very close. Okay, that'll work. All right, I went and pre-drilled a 2x4, so I'm gonna run bolts in it, just not tighten it down, and then I'm just gonna shim it to get it straight up and down. All right, let's see where we're at now. God, the sun. Oh, right on there. All right, so let me put some shims in there to keep it spaced right. All right, so use that hardboard and make a few shims. I can't see. All right, those shims should work there. I'll tighten this down a bit. That top one's not going to matter because this board is bad, so it's going to keep pushing. So if I put shims, it's just going to push it more. I just won't tighten it down real hard, but that's in there. All it is just some place for me to screw in the boards from the outside. Now these are all framed to hold the mosquito netting mesh, so I just need to take those all out, so when I put the board, it's going to sit flush against this post, the one I just added, the existing one underneath here. So let me pull these braces out. Yeah, the rats aren't going to be happy. They had a bit of a breakthrough to the main house this last week that I was dealing with. They got sneaky and broke through some of my wire barriers on the roof, and then they broke through an area, but then they broke in a second area that was out of sight. So I thought I got them stopped, but then I didn't realize that they had a second hole that was behind the fencing that they were still getting through after the first one. So it took me about a week to finally figure out what they were doing, but the battle goes on. This is probably going to cause an escalation, but gotta do what you gotta do. Now I'm going to staple gun the mosquito netting around it, because I've got to place the OBS board against there to kind of get it rough cut out. So I'm on and off, and it'll grab it and just rip it down. So this will help keep that part in place. All right, we're all framed up. It's all ready to go. I got to go to Home Depot, get 2 4x8 sheets of the OBS board. They went up to 22 bucks each. It's crazy. They were just like 17 or 16 bucks a month ago. But I need 2 sheets. I can't fit those in my car, so I have to hook up my trailer. But I liked using my trailer, so I like to wait until after the traffic dies down. So after 6 or 7, then Marathon pretty much dies. US 1 dies. Home Depot, all the contractors and stuff are done. So I usually go in the evening, right at nighttime, because I don't really strap down those boards all too well. It's just 3 miles away, so I just throw them on there and drive back. So yeah, I think we're good and done for today. And then tomorrow I'll continue by sizing them up, trimming those down, and then bolting them in. And then paint, and more paint. All right, we got the trailer ready. Go head down to Home Depot, pick up some 4x8s. All right, got the trailer hooked up to the old fit. Love using this trailer. Actually do use it quite a bit. But one of the things I'm gonna work on, because I keep it up on the jack stands, is having to carry a jack out here all the time. So I think one of my future projects is to build kind of a little jack and jack stand box over here, because I've got 2 pairs. I got a heavy duty jack and jack stands, then that lighter duty setup for the trailer. But there's no reason to keep them in my back patio warehouse there versus just having a little box here that they'll just be out of the rain and stuff, and they'll be right here where I work on the cars and the motorcycles. So that's an upcoming project. And there we go. This is how I get my 4x8 home. Bam, nice and strapped, good to go. So I head on home. It's the next day. We've got our 2 sheets here, so we're gonna get these things mounted up and dry test fitted. I just need to match up. I was originally thinking about running it to the edge here, but then I noticed it's got a stick out here, and that follows all the way around, so I can't really do much about that. So I think I'll try to just end it right along the edge here. So for now, this thing is not exactly square, so it's not exactly easy. Just cut one cut and stick it up there. Plus I want to get it offset off the ground so it's not sucking up moisture when it rains here, because it kind of floods out. And so I want to make these seams match. I've got the 2 boards stacked on each other, so I want it just to the top of the bottom board, and then the top one will bound to the top board there. So I think first thing I'm going to do is just rough cut it, and then make it a little bit easier to work with. So let me do that here, get this thing set up, or get it marked, get it set up, and then get the circular saw out. All right, got my measurement for my x-axis. I'm leaving about 1 inch extra just to have a little bit of wiggle room. Got my sawhorses there, and then a trash can fits under there as a center brace, so I should be able to cut it there without it collapsing too bad. So let me cut that up real quick. right, so that's our first rough fit. I'm going to square off this side and corner here, and then I'll just mark the split between the two boards there to this side, and then mark here and the bottom, cut those off, and I should be good. Then I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill some holes in here where I could run a couple of nails, so that'll just kind of hold it up so I can do my adjustments before I screw them in. But yeah, we're close. All right, got all my lines marked there, which should get us right about where we want to be. Cut these trims off here. Wow, look at there. And right along the edge of the board there, bam. Right along the edge. Nice. Don't even need those test holes. I'm gonna put in screws right now, just as is. Call that done. All right, the bottom is done. It's all squared away, so that's good. Now I got to work on the top. A little bit tougher because it's got the slant along the top that I got to work in. But I'm going to base it off of this being a 90 degree. Then I just need to measure these two legs, and that should get me that angle there, or roughly to it. I know these aren't exactly 90 and straight, but first thing I'm going to do is just kind of cut it down to a rough size. And then I can get final measurements with a pen and ruler to get the slot fit. So right now I just want to butt it against that bottom edge in that left side. All right, we got our test fit here. I left an inch along the top, and that's exactly where it went. I've got to notch this little corner out here, so I've got it marked where I got to cut out so it'll sit all the way across, because I had this little stick out here. And then that should butt us against there. I have to get that squared up first where it's going to be, and then I can mark across and across, and then just cut that off and push it against there. So just two more cuts, and then we should be right on. Yeah, if I had confidence in myself, I would have done the inch across there, and I would have just fit right in, because we're flush along the bottom, and this little stick out will suck in when I notch that side. So yeah, looking good. All right, let me do that notch first. All right, got the notch in there, so we're lined up there along the bottom, and then along this right edge. This is a little bit wonky here. I don't know if it'll be worthwhile to trim it. We'll see. I'll go ahead and mark the top, cut that across so it sits in, and then I'll see if it's going to be necessary to straight edge this. All right, got that in there. That side's a little bit loose, that side's a little bit tight, but I could force it in there and it wedges it, which is good. Then I was wondering if I'm going to trim this. I'm off by about, I don't know, a good 3/4 of an inch on this side. So I might go ahead and just trim that, keep it spaced just there. I'm going to be caulking all this, so it's not going to make too much of a difference, but that's a little too wonky. I could probably trim that a little bit just to give it a little bit of spacing, but yeah. Final trimmings. All right, there we go. Got it, went ahead and screwed it all in there since it was up there and it fit. Trimming up that and trimming up that's not so good with a circular saw when you're just trying to take off a little edge. but they're gonna be covered up with the caulking, so not a big deal. But yeah, that's it. All right, there we go. Ooh, the rats are gonna be so pissed. They're gonna say escalation, escalation. But they've still got plenty of holes over here until I fix those. Then they'll really be pissed off. This is just gonna be a pride issue, but yeah, nice. That's gonna block that all off. I'm gonna move those coolers into the corner there, so it kind of makes a somewhat of a block there, and I could run stuff all across here without too much of an issue. Maybe even put one more rack there, and that'll be good enough. Nice. Very happy to have this done, but still got to paint it, but that's not too bad. All right, I pulled out the old $2 can of discontinued paint, took it back down to Home Depot, and then the guy turned it into white. It was just a base tone, so I did that for free, which is good. And then I bought some latex caulk silicone that's gonna kind of fill in those gaps between the boards and prevent water attrition in there. So let's get to some painting. Well, it looks white to me, so that's gonna work. I did 2 coats, just a light coat, and then I went over it with a heavy coat, filling in all the different little holes that pop up. But that looks pretty good. I think I'm just gonna do 1 more coat and call it a day, and then just do the caulkings along the edges. All right, painting is done. So I did about 3 layers, used a half gallon just on these 2 faces here. So those are good. Got the edges there, so I'm just gonna let this dry overnight, and then run some caulk along the top, and then this crack here, keep the water out of the sides and top, and I think we'll be good. This one's been here for a few months and still solid, so not a problem. Yeah, I think we're good. See, check this out. Found another incursion spot. Those damn rats getting in right there. So you can see how that they worked it, like they were getting in here, so I put this wire mesh in there. That stopped them for a while, but then you can see where they've been eating at it on the edge, and then they went after this piece here so they can just squeeze through there. Once they get inside this, there's an opening way on the other side where all the poles, all the sides come together, and then they used to burrow in there. I got that kind of blocked off with wire as well, but yeah, that's another spot they're getting into again. Damn, they're good. All right, the last thing I had to do was just run a bead of caulk around the different seams there, keep the water out. So we are done. I like it. Nice solid wall. I did receive a cease and desist letter from the rats yesterday on any future building projects, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. It is a war. And there we go on the inside. Nice and solid wall blockade and rat blockade. So now I've got this working space here. I'll leave these ice chests there. There'll be a bit of a wind block for the stuff that comes in this way, but still give me this in the open area. Probably one of my next fun projects will be just building a box using my scrap. I got all this scrap left over, 2x4s and stuff, and just basically build a scrap box out of scraps. So I have all this stuff all over the place, so about to get that cleaned up and free up even more space again. But otherwise, yeah, that was the last, I think, big project for the shop. So now just a matter of just doing actual projects. Nice.